a top 500 DPS, so he swapped over to his deep main role, and the other guy swapped the tank, and then yeah, they kind of rolled us after that because it was a farm of mercy, and they kind of just rolled us at the end. But we did pretty good otherwise. It was a 25-minute, almost 25-minute game. It was not bad.
Right. I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Um,
Okay. Uh-huh.
yeah, and I was been playing Sigma, and I think I have effectively a 0% win rate on Sigma. It's mainly I personally I understand that he's a really good pick and stuff like that, but man, even when we're winning, I just don't have fun with him. I'm so bored, and it just drags. It drags me, and it's like when you're not having fun with a character, you're just
Mm.
playing him just like, oh, because he's the best pick here, and it's like, and it slowly but surely just weighs on me, and the not having fun with the tank definitely like
Right.
affects whether or not
I-
I'm good with the tank,
I-
and I'm just not having fun with him.
In what situation you playing Sigma currently?
So usually I play in Havana, Circuit Royale, like the ones that like have like good long sight lines and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know, the
yeah,
ones that technically, quote unquote, Sigma maps or whatever you want to call
right.
them. I've been playing those. Been playing a little bit of Winston. I have a couple Winston games. Winston, I've had better luck with. I've been enjoying playing Winston on occasion, and Reinhardt. I'm trying to
Right.
open in my thing. So lately, I've been playing the main tanks. I've been actually having fun playing right now is obviously Junker Queen. Have a blast. I can play Junker Queen for 8 hours straight. Reinhardt, I can play for him for about 3 or 4 hours straight, depending on what games I get. And then Winston, I can play for him for a bit. But I keep trying to play Sigma. I keep trying to force myself to try to enjoy it, and I just don't like his play style. I don't know.
Hmm.
I just don't. It's like I've been shooting his feet. I feel like I'm doing okay as him. It's just like I kind of get bored, and I kind of just start like drifting off, if that makes sense. Like I just start like
Yeah,
not
yeah.
paying attention because I'm just like not having fun. And I think that's a really
Yeah,
big and really important for me is to have
exactly.
fun.
Exactly. Well, it's for any player. I always suggest the biggest thing you have to watch out for is, are you having fun on the character?
Hmm.
And if you don't, then I just suggest you probably don't play the character,
Yeah,
even though there's the
exactly.
right. So your question is then, what are you gonna be playing in situations where you usually play Sigma, yeah? In those situations,
Yeah,
like when you on Havana, maybe it's something like Circuit Royale. What you could be playing, what you could be doing.
yeah, and and honestly, like
What do you think?
yeah,
What do you think about that? Yeah. So it's just this is the question. Yeah.
usually I
Hmm.
just I guess in those situations I feel like it depends on how what we're playing against. So
Hmm.
like one of the games we played was a Circuit Royale game. I played Sigma for like the first point, and I was like, I can't do this. I just can't. Like he was playing Sigma. It was I think that was his name was shoot. Can't remember his name, but I think he was like mid masters tank, and he was playing Sigma, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm just not good with Sigma, and I'm just not having a good time, right? So I was like, okay. And my comfort pick is Junker Queen. So I swapped Junker Queen, and we ended up just rolling them. I mean, I made they made jokes of me touching their spawn door and staying there because
Yeah. Yeah.
I just because it was just a click. Like I was having fun. I could hit my knives. I locked in, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but the Sigma, it's just like I feel like a lumbering beast as Sigma, and it's like when my brain is moving faster than Sigma wants to play. It's like I want to do this, and it's like, well, Sigma's like, well, you have to wait until I get there. It's like it's infuriating. I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
I got his rock usage. I got really good with his rock usage. I feel like I hit my rocks and stuff like that. It's not
Hmm.
necessarily like I think genuinely the only reasons why
Hmm.
like I've started losing games at Sigma is genuinely my own mentality. And
Yeah. This
because
is
there's
true. This
points
is
where
gonna affect you the most. Yeah.
yeah, it's like moments where I'm like playing, I'm like, and just kind of getting distracted by things. I'm like, what am I doing here? you know? And then like I'll end up like just kind of giving up. But Winston, I'm actually enjoying. I think I've been playing a little bit of Winston. I like I like the way. Granted, I need to get a bit better at it. I like the idea of like he's been teaching me a lot more about like analyzing the area, like just taking a
Mhm.
moment and like absorbing what's going on, and then executing what you're trying to do. I think learning how to kill better on Winston would be nice, and how to how to identify what to do in certain situations.
Sure, sure.
Because it's like in my I have such what's the word uh like simple thoughts as Winston, and I think it needs to be a little bit more complex thoughts. I think there's like a because I have like I look at a high ground. I'm like, well, I'm Winston. I guess I can jump high ground.
Hmm.
And it's like even though I know that like just get I'm gonna take so much damage in the air, I'm gonna do it anyways because I'm Winston. It's like instead of like actually
Hmm.
truly assessing, like I know what I'm doing wrong as Winston, but it's like I don't know what else to do.
Hmm.
I kind of get stuck there. Um, let's see. Yeah, I think my Junker Queen's I've been gotten a lot better with Junker Queen, a lot better. I mean, if you want, you can see me play with Junker Queen on the thing. I feel like I did pretty good, and I mean, granted, I don't know what they were doing. But the other team was a very high ranked team. I mean, that was just definitely a probably high diamond to mid to high top 500 team that we were playing against, and I felt like I was actually kind of doing pretty good, all things considered. Where especially with our team and stuff like that, So at the rank discrepancy was really high, and we still, was 4 to 5, 25-minute game. That's really good. Feel like when we feel like we did pretty good. On defense. The second time we were on defense, I played tank and I played Ryan a little bit, and I
Hmm.
feel like that was a regret. I feel like I should have stayed Junker Queen. I kind of made a few mistakes at the end, but the push all the way up, I feel like I was kind of doing pretty good there. There's a few things I feel like I could have done better, but I feel like I did pretty good in all things considered in the situation. Not to mention it was really late at night and I was pretty tired. I feel like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
took me a little bit longer
that
to
makes
lock
sense.
in. And once I did lock in, it I feel like we were kind of doing way better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay, I made a few notes. So
Hmm.
most important to kind of structure it. So probably want to work on Winston a little bit more. This is one.
Hmm.
Another one. Sigma is boring. Well, we kind of solved that by saying you don't have to play Sigma. You didn't say. We didn't come with a suggestion. What you need to be doing in those situations where you run in Sigma, though. So what are you gonna be doing on those Havana games? What are you gonna be swapping to? What is gonna be based
Uh,
on?
um, I guess that's a good question because like I haven't had a chance to play a Havana game or a something like that where
Circuit
I
Royale. Yep.
yeah like those two. I haven't played one where it's like I've been kind of forcing Sigma for the last couple days. I'll admit I've been trying to just force myself. Like maybe I'll enjoy it eventually, right? I've been playing them for 2 weeks and
Let's see
I've
if I
seen
done. Yeah.
improvement. Yeah, I've seen improvement, but it still feels like I just yeah,
Hmm.
especially today where I played like maybe a game with him and I was like, ugh, halfway through the game, even though we were pushing, basically winning, halfway through the game, I was like, realized I was leaned back in my chair, just kind of just sitting there, and I was like, I can't be playing this tank. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get
Yes.
bored.
So what are you gonna be doing in those situations? What character are
Um,
you gonna play?
that's a good question. I mean, again, Junker Queen's my comfort pick. I'd like to
Yep.
maybe play in Junker Queen's a comfort pick. Maybe Winston would be a good
Mm.
pick. Maybe even Ramatra if I can learn him.
Yeah, this has
Uh,
been our one of the suggestions because it's a brawl tank or a role, and you like brawl tank, so Mato might be quite good because he got some of the poke as well. So in
mhm,
situations where they're just more longer range sightlines, open sightlines, Ramato
mhm,
can be more comfortable to you. I think
uh-huh.
you can do this. So
Yeah, because on like for like Circuit Royale, with Junker Queen, I've played it so many times now that I've kind of learned how to play the map with Junker Queen as long as my team knows how to compensate for how I play, and that's
this
where
is
it's at.
this is
Like if
fine too. Yeah,
mm,
it's doable. It's doable. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, like if I actually it's kind of funny. I actually feel more confident when they play Sigma on Circuit Royale when I'm playing Junker Queen because I know I can beat them.
Yeah, same, same,
Because
same. Yeah, understandable.
yeah. Yeah, because it's like it's like in my head, maybe they're Sigma main, maybe, but for me it's like, oh, they picked Sigma because they think that's a good pick, whereas I'm playing my character Junker Queen, which I am 100% confident that I can just delete people if I want to. If I'm
Yeah.
locked in enough, and I can do that. But I think lately my confidence as tank has significantly rose
Hmm.
because of I don't know if things have clicked. I feel like I've been maybe I'm still doing things wrong and I'm just getting lucky, but I feel like in some a lot of situations I've been doing a lot better. I haven't, but there's been some times where I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I look around and I'm like, well, there's no real place for me to go. you know, it happens more on Winston than Junker Queen. Junker Queen, I feel pretty confident on, and I'd like to
Hmm.
go over the game and kind of fix the little things I did. And maybe there's some big things that I'm just kind of like, just because we were winning, I was like, wow, I'm doing so good, and I'm just lying to myself. And I'd like to see that. Yeah, but
Understandable.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Okay.
but in those games, I mean, Junker Queen would probably be my pick, or maybe Winston, and if I can get better at him, Ramatra.
Sure,
Um,
sure. You can practice. I think try him out. Uh, the option to just run Jungkook or Winston again. This is fine, and it can relate to that as well because me as an example, I personally like to play a lot of Ryan, and even now, I when I do play, I'm being able to play Reinhardt and top of 100 as well. So I'm just forcing it everywhere as much as possible. And same situation there, which you described, Circuit Royale, right? They play Sigma. Well, sure they can, but I I'm confident in my character. I can beat them. This sort of thing. So honestly, it's the priority. Your performance, your attitude to just this.
mhm.
You
Yeah,
enjoying the game first of all. This is
yeah,
what's most important. Hmm.
yeah, and I've realized I don't know I don't know what's going on. I think it's just because it's late in the season, but it feels like every single lately I've been playing, the other tank just hyper fixates on me. I don't. It's
That was the.
it's a very odd experience. And sometimes I fall into things because that's one of the things I struggle with sometimes is like I genuinely don't know what to do, so I default to shoot the tank. And I kind of like I've been really good about like starting it. I'm like, and I only do it like in situations where they're falling back and stuff like that. I try to at least. Granted, sometimes like you kind of get locked in and you do it anyways. But I have definitely realized that, and I've been able to take advantage of that because
Mhm.
as Junker Queen, you kind of just purposely ignore the tank. So them being on
As
top of you
anybody,
actually helps you.
mostly. I would say as
Hmm.
anybody, mostly. You want to ignore the tank. I mean, use the tank. You just gotta be trading backlines. Remember, most of your gameplay is
Yeah,
gonna be about that.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And one of the things I've ran into, one of the losses I had was against Doomfist, and he was a really good Doomfist. And fighting a really good Doomfist was extremely difficult. I was I wonder if I have that. I was playing Rhine, and like the thing was, it's like it felt like my team was not the best. I'll admit. That was like one of those like a simple scrim, just like a test scrim,
Mm-hmm.
and my team wasn't the best. And as Jarn Queen, I felt as Reinhardt, I felt like I was like, well, kind of just looking around like, well, I am certainly here. You know, I just played the room, didn't die at all. Like maybe I had
Yeah.
like one or two deaths, but my team had like 10 deaths. And I was just fighting for my life. And maybe that I don't. And it was
Mm?
I don't like blaming my team, so I'm asking. I was kind of like sitting there like get that egotistical crap out of my head and say what I could have done better in those situations. And I
Yeah.
don't think I have the VOD for that. But being in the like finding a good Doomfist and learning how to counter him would be
Yeah.
really helpful.
Generally speaking, some general notes on that is, and it's any brawl character. First of all, you as a brawl character really cannot counter dive in a way. Well, if they dive you cannot really challenge them because they got a lot of escape. What I really suggest is be more proactive with your position. Don't stay with your team, but try to pick a spot where you force the dive to dive you. You kind of just keeping them busy because
Hmm.
it's usually with the chokes somewhere because you're keeping them busy really. The only option for the divers to dive you, or well, if they bypass you, then at least you can force out quite a lot of resources. You don't want enemy divers to get space most of the time. This is one.
Yeah.
And if they do, then you still need to find more stationary target. Kind of try to go on that.
Yeah.
Because a lot
Yeah.
of people
Yeah.
say you gotta peel the dive by staying, but I don't think well, it's never a good mindset. Well, first of all, which is most importantly, it's not solving you being proactive. You're never proactive if you stay with your team; they still die, and you never creating any threat towards the
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah, and as Junker Queen, I can kind of, if on certain maps I can do that, but like for example, like Blizzard World, it was on Blizzard World that we're doing it. I couldn't like I could never get into a position where because we were kind of getting pushed back, where I could get into a position where he would jump over me, and then I could have at their whole rest of their team, and I couldn't really do that because like their Cassidy just would just roll me because he just never missed, and I couldn't. And it's like one of those things where I'm like, okay, I'm stuck on this corner. The Doomfist is over there. I can't really do much. And I was like, man, I don't know what to do in these situations. I can describe the situation that I was in if I went
Yeah,
to jump Blizzard World.
understandable.
I can explain, like, I can picture in my head exactly what happened. It was like one of those situations where I was like, I don't know what to do in this situation. And that was Reinhardt, so I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
you know.
So
But
so
yeah,
so again, you got the VOD or you don't have it? Playing versus Doomfist.
I'm afraid I don't. I've been playing too
It's
many quick
okay.
games. I forgot to pin it. I got a bunch of other games pinned, but I don't have
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. It's all right. We can review that later. Maybe you face that situation later. Again, don't forget, you can use the document to your advantage. You can always put your games in there as well. There's a
Mm,
section on the bottom where you can do that.
mm,
So definitely don't forget. Uh, Also, another thing, something you mentioned about the character, when to pick each character. I think you mentioned this one small thing is how you a lot of times paying attention to the enemy. I just want to make a note on that. It's good. You do that. Just remember, continue paying attention to two main things with your hero pick is usually first based on the map. I think we discussed it in one of the our
mm,
previous lessons. Remember, usually a pick is
mm,
based on the map and your team composition because this way you're paying attention to
mm,
your strengths. Yeah, team composition is usually more important to you. So to speak, if you have more divish team, then you want to play for your strengths around the dive. You pick something what allows your team to do more, and you also pay
mm.
attention to the map meanwhile. And same goes about maybe you got more poke team. Well, in your case, you don't want to run Sigma, run Remato at least. Yeah, Remat, or
Yeah,
maybe you can run something else like Jungkook or Winston. But it will depend on the map. You will see. Well, with Winston, it's more about high gun control. With Jungkook, when you got just purely this horizontal mobility, you don't have as much
um,
mobility in a way, except with shout. So keep that in mind. More short range spaces, this is where you're gonna be more suitable with her, but you still
yeah,
can be dealing with enemy taking angles with the knives and such. So yeah, it's something like that.
yeah. I
Uh,
can.
yeah,
I definitely have. I have a Route 66 game as Winston. I felt like was a quality game.
yeah, yeah.
I have one, two. Um, I have yeah Route 66 Esperanza one. I have a Reinhardt one. I have old Sigma one. Um,
I
and then
think
I have the Rialto one. I think honestly the Sigmas, I personally just want to just give up on the Sigma because I just don't
yeah,
like playing
yeah,
them. I don't think
understandable.
it matters much.
Yeah. This is a good suggestion. Yeah, so I would say we should probably focus on your Winston a little bit more and
Yep.
just first of all, review the previous things we went over. Well, there's been a few weeks here where we actually touched on the Winston, just kind of talked about him a little. Well, all
Hmm.
your gameplay there. But yeah, we can
Hmm.
talk about him more. So this is one. Yeah, I think let's start with that. Is there anything else, maybe? So anything else? You did mention well playing versus Doomfist and such, but
Yeah. I
yeah,
mm,
is there anything else?
yeah. Just I've been dealing with granted I'll admit I've been dealing with a little bit of burnout because of the I it wasn't about winning. I got kind of like to the point where like I was playing against the same comps over and over again, and it kind of drains on you a little bit. Like I, I am. If you said, okay, which game was this? There's a hog, a sojourn with a mercy pocket, a Cassidy, and then a Bap or a Kiri. And if you told me that comp, I genuinely wouldn't be able to tell you which game that was because of how many times I've seen it. It's insane,
I
and it's
see.
just been that comp over and over and over again. And playing against Hog over and over again, which is my least favorite player tank to play against and stuff like that, which I could beat and stuff like that. It wasn't like that much of an issue. It's just like even when I won, I kind of just slumped in my chair and I was like, ugh, you know. So is like a fun factor was kind of decreasing. Lately, a lot of people have kind of gotten off of Overwatch recently because the new season comes out in a few days.
Mhm.
So, and like I said, I knew the tournament kind of took up my time, and I really want to go deep into comp this time because I actually genuinely believe I can get close to top 500, if I actually try.
Of course,
Because I
yeah.
mean, I don't think I've lost a single comp game this season. Let me see.
Nice.
Yeah, I think you have a 100% win rate
Right.
on a couple games here, so it's like I feel confident. I just haven't played comp in a while, but I'm confident that I can. I've been kind of just waiting on the new season and what it brings
Sure, sure.
to get the new stuff going and get
Some
it
new
deep into.
hog buffs or
Yeah,
debuffs.
dude, it was so funny when they're like, "We debuffed Hog." We're like, "Great," and everyone still plays Hog and rolling. That did nothing. It's like, oh god, yeah. Dude, I don't want to talk about how many times I've went Malga. Oh god, ugh. My hands feel tainted playing Malga, but
Right.
it's like okay, they have Hog and they don't have a Kiriko. Click Malga, left click, right click, and I literally put my hand on my chin and just left click, right click, pointing at the Hog. And this is like fucking a master's game, and I'm doing this. I'm like,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
is
yeah.
this game right now? What is this game? It's like
Yeah,
gosh, but
honestly,
it happens.
I always like where there's a lot of skill ceiling involved with the character. Like, it's
Yeah,
always
so do I.
better this way. Yeah, but that's why I really like Junker Queen. Something like Junker Queen is pretty
Yeah,
fun, or the tank for sure. Well, they are also fun characters. I mean, in terms of skill ceiling, there's definitely Winston as well. Yeah, it's something within your pool. It's a pretty high skill
yeah,
ceiling. You need to learn quite a lot
yeah.
there. It's pretty fun. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but I understand that you have to have easy like Reinhardt. Reinhardt's like a really easy character to learn, right?
yeah, hard to
But like,
master there.
no, they're like few people can master Reinhardt. I mean, I can think of like you and maybe there's like four other Cloudy and
There's me.
Flats, and then I can't think of any other like main. Oh, what's his name? Starts with an M. Uh, Mechanist. I think I can't remember his name. But there's one like maybe
Hmm.
there's like four Reinhardt true mains where they're masters at it, right? There's very few of you guys,
Yeah, I've
and
been playing Ryan quite a lot. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
thousands of
everyone,
hours on him.
yeah, and no one goes like, ah, Ryan's pin's too OP, you know, because you have to charge in. Hog, man, I mean, I've played in like uh skirmishes where it is genuinely a silver tank, but let's say they have like a diamond support which knows how to use their Suzu and stuff like that. That Hog isn't dying, no matter what you do. No matter, it's brutal, and the silver Hogs get so much value just by existing. You know, so
Work around him. Remember, always straight into
oh yeah,
backlines is the answer a lot of times.
yeah. But it's like I shouldn't have like on especially some tanks that are obviously just really not bad. I just hate how much I have to like push and
Hmm,
try. Like
makes
I have to
sense.
just put my so much effort in the backline and do all this stuff just to like deal with the Hog. And it's like golly, so much effort has to be put in just to beat like a simple fucking
Right,
pig. Ugh.
right.
Ugh.
Understandable. Yeah, that definitely.
Yeah,
This one is
yeah,
understandable for sure. By the
yeah.
way,
But
with
go ahead.
our last notes, I see. Have you had a chance? There've been a few notes on this sod model thing. Have you had a chance to use that as well? Just asking. Remember?
Actually, the funny enough that's kind of like what I've been using as Winston, and that's why I've been enjoying Winston more because it slows down my thought process a bit more to
No,
do
true.
that more.
Hmm.
Yeah, and and you'll see in the games, you'll see me kind of stop and stand still, which I know is kind of a bad thing, but it also like it's like I was as Junker Queen, I was kept like I had a like for some reason Junker Queen is just all instinct, and it's kind of like I have
For
to
now,
slow
yeah,
down my gameplay.
yeah.
Yeah, and I can kind of do the right. I've kind of learned how to do it in that fast-paced situation, but Winston kind of lets me learn the thought processes a bit more because I can. It's a bit slower. It's a bit more methodical gameplay. I feel like at least that's how I feel about playing Winston as of late.
I mean,
You know.
the part of it as well is that you got quite a lot of playtime on Junker Queen, so it's more
Mm.
instinctual. You eventually want to be an instinctual player on any character. It just takes time, but at the
Yeah.
start, to be instinctual, like in the right way, you need to build good habits. So it's okay, yeah, like because with you maybe you got a lot of playtime on Junker Queen, not as much on a Winston. Well, Winston will be slower and will be the same on any other character you start learning. It's okay.
Mhm.
Mm, Winston is
Yeah.
definitely, if we just compare the pace as well, it's kind of, you have to in the West, I think, quite good amount of time set up, but then be precise with your engagements and then
Hmm.
get out. You have this kind of more sharper pace, compared to Junker when with any brawl characters you kind of in and then you stay in a fight, then your resources goes low and then you out. With the Winston you have to kind of set low, kind of sit there. Actually
Yeah.
I can just draw you graph or something, so it's good. Can you see the stream?
Uh-huh. Oh, yep. I didn't hear
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
So as a brawl, it's usually kind of works this way. You usually start with, let's say, I'm just gonna make a graph. There's like value above, and time is right there. Okay. Usually, with a brawl characters start with, let's say here we start with this pretty fine value. We have full resources, and then you do something. Your value increases. Yeah, maybe there's a shout or something. Yeah, once the enemy is doing something, but then over time the value goes down. Yeah, so it's kind of this way, and eventually so let me, yeah, so with the time value goes down, and then you maybe get your resources back, but then because the fight is longer, yeah, the value is slightly lower, and then this is kind of this sort of graph,
Yeah. Just taper off. Yeah.
yeah. With the Winston, it's usually, well, your value, especially at the start of out of the fight, well, you can't do as much because it really depends on your setup. That's why I kind of start with just setting up. This is where your value goes higher, and then maybe you get the right position and such and as well. And then there's like a somewhat of a spike. You really like have high value there with the jump and all of that, with the burst, you land these combos, and then the value goes down real quick, and you mm, let's say as a Winston, well, to be more accurate, I think you in a way can have more frequent engagements. So just, yeah, let's say, let's say here, because with Junker you kind of stay with Winston I can just sharp engage, go out, and then maybe engage one more time this way. Yeah. mm, this is how it goes usually. Of course, it's not the most accurate representation, but at least this
Yeah.
is an idea.
Yeah. It's like I understand. I feel like I understand how Winston's supposed to be played. It's like, but I struggle with the game sense with him to identify proper target analysis with him.
Mhm.
And I struggle with what's another thing I struggle with? Um, I kind of just have to like I go through the steps of like okay if then like the 1 2 3 steps, and it's like I it that's I sit on that a bit too long, and that's just me learning it. I think it'll get faster over time, but it definitely Winston. I feel like I get in, I can do stuff, but I feel like especially on this Route 66, I don't think I got a kill for like a solid like I was getting value because I was like, stopping them, kind of doing my own thing, but it wasn't until like I feel like I was like jumping in, but I was like, okay, I'm here, and I'm like, and that you'll see me a lot of thought processes of like, I don't think this was the right play. I don't think
Yeah,
this was the
yeah.
right play, and it's like I have like I don't know how to explain it. Maybe the video will probably help
What is the
understand.
problem with you thinking? Well, right in the moment, yeah, when we're thinking it's not the right play, yeah. What might be the problem with that?
I I feel like I try to assess what's going on, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna jump on the one that's like out of position or on the high ground. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do that, but then let's say, I think, and then a mercy gets on it, and I stay on it for too long. I'm like, why did I stay on this for too long? But I got distracted, sidetracked with what I was talking about. But I guess
Yeah,
I
yeah.
struggle with just understanding what to do. Like when I look at a situation, I'm like, I can't identify where to go, the right place to go. And I have time to look at it, and I still can't, like, and it's like frustrating because Dark Queen is just like instinctual. I just know what to do. I do the things. I'm just like it's all fast paced, and I feel like I work better in that. But I also enjoy Winston and like the way I can think through things. But it's also like I'm on high ground. They can't really touch me, and I can kind of keep them off cart, kind of poke them out with the charge shot and stuff like that, kind of waiting for them to make mistakes. And on the second point of this map, I was able to make more kind of capitalize on some of those mistakes. Granted, I made a few mistakes myself, I know,
Yeah,
but it's like one of those things where it's like, if I can identify one of their mistakes, I can capitalize it.
yeah.
But if, let's say, I can't identify any mistakes, I'm like, well, I don't know what to do, but I guess that person's on high ground with a mercy pocket, so let's see what happens. And I just jump because I don't want to sit and wait and do nothing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, okay, yeah. So there are a few notes on. I would like to say because yeah, it's connected to what we mentioned before. So first, I think we talked about it in this interview practice. Yeah, you really should pay attention to it whenever you get this kind of thoughts where there are too many things you're trying to think about. Remember, we're trying to ultimately just work on one goal at a time. Those
Mhm,
notes are still in there in the document, right? So here,
mhm,
it's really important. So let's just say problem too many thoughts. Yeah, do I have to do this or that? Do I have to dive this person or that person? Solve this with our notes from that lesson. There have been a few concepts, right? Just at least starting with working on one goal at a time. That was quite important. And reminding yourself, yeah, using all these notes, sticky notes, make sure you just have the exact goal,
mhm,
what you're working on today. So this way it helps. And another thing which you said, yeah, like you're questioning. So you're saying, is that the right play? This might be problematic for a few reasons. Well, because when you say that, well, first, it's not helping you to solve how to win. A lot of times, it's not. Let's say we just yeah, it's not gonna help you to win the next fight. Yeah, let's say it this way. It's not gonna help to win the next fight.
mhm.
So instead, when we're doing all of this, it's not gonna help. Yeah, so it's not gonna help to win the next fight. So instead of doing this, what you have to do in the game, yeah, whenever there's a difficult situation, maybe you're not sure what to do, then what your thought process should be then?
Um,
What is the
I'm not
solution to
sure.
this?
Um,
Because you put in your thoughts towards the past. You put in, and this is what the most teams struggle with as well. Maybe because you're playing a tournament, you might maybe hear something like this, guys. We could have done this and that, but is that really useful to you right in the moment?
um, yeah, I guess I'm not really like thinking it like in the past tense, like, oh, I don't think that was the right play. It's more of like in present, like I'm staring at it, like, is this the right play? And I'm like questioning whether that's the right thing to do, you know? And it's like, so, but I guess,
I mean, then you point in towards the future. It's either past or the future, and then you're
yeah,
asking
and
yourself, and this is where the problems are. Guys, should we do this or that? Right? You need
mhm.
to somehow solve this. So you just focus on the present a little bit more. You focus on what do you do exactly. You don't want to question the
Right, I feel
future or
like,
the past. Let's put it this way.
yeah, because like, if I play Winston, when I first started playing Winston, last week, early last week, I felt like I was playing him like Junker Queen, where I was just going off my instincts of what to do, and I did a lot of feeding. I just fed and fed and fed, and it wasn't until like um I was watching someone stream play Winston. I think it was Flats actually, funny enough, and I saw he was very slow and methodical with his Winston. And I was like, maybe I should try that. And I died significantly less.
Yeah, this is
Where I went
better.
from like 8 deaths to like 2 or 3 deaths, but can't get the kills. I still struggle on getting kills.
You
It's
don't
like,
have to,
okay, now I'm
but
going
yeah.
positive,
Mhm.
but my DPS have 26 kills and I have 5. I'm doing something wrong.
I
You know,
mean,
it's like,
no. Like,
but it's like, but if my DPS aren't doing anything, I'm not doing anything. Like at that point, they're just fucking putting me on their shoulders and having a monkey on their shoulders. You know, and I don't like that feeling. I just feel like I'm not doing something. You know, maybe I am. Maybe I'm keeping on me putting a bubble on the Ash and keeping her distracted and the Mercy. Maybe that's why they were able to get all these picks and stuff like that.
yeah,
Maybe,
this
but
is the most
still,
of your time gameplay, right?
yeah. But it still feels like
Oh.
I guess maybe because it's not like Junker Queen is all about kills and Winston's all about uh pressure. I feel like maybe I'm not feeling like I'm doing the right thing because I'm not getting kills, but in reality I'm putting the right pressure in the right I just have to make sure I'm putting the right pressure in the right spots.
Right. Yeah, and see your understanding of if you're doing it right should be not based on the stats. It should be just based on the exact ideas, yeah, the concepts we went over, yeah. So you always, whenever we're saying, yeah, like you don't want to focus. Oh, is it the right decision, or is it should it be doing like question yourself a little bit too much about the future? Yeah,
Mm.
just focus on implementing the concepts because this is constant, this is easy. You understand it well. You can also make it easy with all the notes, with all the suggestions which we said. Yeah, as Winston we
Mhm.
had a few notes already, yeah, such as
Yeah.
taking some sort of high ground, making sure you time the
Yeah.
pressure with the team, and you don't have to question yourself. Can you time the pressure with your team? Well, totally. There are other things. Well, guess what? You're gonna do a lot of wrong things when you're doing all of it, but it doesn't matter. What matters is what do you focus on? Are you doing it right? So focus on a certain goal and just make sure you are able to do it. Yeah. If you do
Yeah.
it better, then this is a win. Yeah. At the end, this is what you're aiming for. Yeah. So I'm just gonna say, yeah, if you're doing it better, this is a win, and you don't have to question. You don't have to question yourself as much this way. Remember that, yeah. This is gonna
Mhm.
help quite a lot because, yeah, I mean, this is a common problem. I mean, you remember that, yeah, where just maybe too many thoughts, and then it's difficult for you to decide what to do. You have to slow down as well, right? But then remember, narrow it down too, yeah. So you exactly
Mhm.
focus on something. Yeah, so I'm just gonna say if you're doing it better, this is a win.
Yeah, and I
Stairs
feel
and
like
cells.
I might be wrong, but at least my high ground usage, I feel like Winston, I'm pretty happy. I live up there pretty much. I live in the trees. I stay up there pretty often, so I feel like that was one of the things I definitely worked on was that. So I definitely feel like I did that better.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
great.
like I don't feel bad about my position. It's about my active like what I'm doing actively is more of my issue. I feel like that was pretty early on. I was like, okay, I'm dying. I'm just feeding. I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong here. Obviously, I'm just what I'm doing is just wrong. So and that was one of the adjustments I made. Definitely was just you have a jump, use it. And I learned that not every time you need to use your jump. Be sometimes if they're close enough, walk to them. You know. So that's
Yeah,
something I have also kind of
yeah,
learned.
I think exactly. This is a lot of times, and this can be for any tank. You don't have to use your CDs. You can kind of cycle your CDs. Make sure you have the most of those, and then later you can just do something with those once they use their own CDs. It's always good if you're able to maintain the pressure, primary fire, and then they use something, and then you use something because of it. Yeah, like your jump. Let's say they use a couple of cooldowns and you jump away. Well, this is good, and this is what all the tanking is about. It's about absorbing the pressure. So make sure whenever you also trying to understand, are you doing the right thing or not? First off, never do it in the game. In the game, it's always what I do now, and it's focusing on your goals. Outside of the game, if you self-review, then you can question. You can question, see, okay, should I be doing this or that? Yeah, if you would like to figure this out, I can also help you out with that. But This is how you measure your progress. You just measure it by seeing, are you implementing something better? If you
Mhm.
do, then this is what it is. You're getting better then.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's what I
makes
would do.
sense.
So let's take a look. We well, for the Winston, we got some notes before as well. Is there anything you've been implementing effectively from
Um,
our
the,
last session?
the disengage and re-engage is definitely something I've been using quite often. I believe that's one of the notes is like how to make sure to disengage and re-engage. I feel like I was implementing that pretty good. I feel like I knew when to leave, when to go in, when to leave.
Right.
Sometimes I might have stayed a little too long, but I never like did too terrible. But yeah, I think that was the only real notes is as Winston is just
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
There've been not too many, right?
yeah.
Let me ask you this. Let's just I'm thinking. Yeah, let's do that because we talked about the setup with you before. And can you can you tell me what is that what is that general setup we're looking for as Winston usually?
So my idea of good setup for I don't think we really went over it. That was kind of just like something we just
Mm-hmm.
mentioned on passing because I think we were focusing on Sigma last time mainly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, but mainly for me it was okay. Do my supports have a sightline on me?
Uh-huh.
And do I have a am I re- give not allowing them to have a position because I am there? And
Mm-hmm.
I like right here, like they wanted this spot, so I was like, I'm gonna sit here and deny them this space. This little high ground is mine. They have to stay on the ground and walk this payload all the way around, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of mentality I have with Winston when it comes to where I'm at.
Right.
And on second point, like I'll stay on the two buildings and just kind of said, You're not going to get these two spots. These are mine. You know, these are my spots." And that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like how my positioning kind of plays out, I guess.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. So with this in mind, when we do this controlling space, taking space as Winston, what do you bubbles for usually? How do you use that?
Um, I'm still. I never really haven't really focused on my bubble. I was kind of focusing on my positioning and
Mm-hmm.
my active disengage and reengage. But instinctually, when I use it, it's um, like for example, right there where I saw my uh Bastion kind of you trying to mow down a guy. I was like, well, he could die here, so let me use it so I can kind of give him some extra uh like a shield essentially, just a simple shield. And on occasion I'll use it to kind of take over a spot for temporarily if I can.
Right. So see, your primary usage of the bubble, think about it in a similar way, like we talked about Junker Queen with your shout.
Mm.
Let's go back actually. So it's just been it's been you using it. Yeah, so it's even earlier, right there. Right, so if you shout here as Junker Queen, is it good or bad shout?
Oh, if it was junk, it's terrible.
Terrible, right?
Yeah,
And this
useless.
is what you want to think about as Winston. Your bubble mostly, and it's for any tank. Your defensive cooldowns. It's not for your team. It's for yourself because you are applying pressure. And because you're absorbing a lot of attention, because enemies are actually shooting you, then you bubble. So here, if I would be the Junker Queen, if enemies actually shooting me, yeah, if the Doomfist dives me or Genji dives me, then I shout. Similar thing
Hmm.
to you, as a Winston there. This bubble, now you know what these guys can do? They can just see it AFK, shoot your bubble, avoid the Bastion, and then dive everybody else. But we don't want this to happen again. We want to bait them to do something and then use the bubble. And hopefully the attention will be baited towards you. Hopefully you can bait these guys to just shoot you. Okay? So see,
Okay.
this first part, okay? How, yeah, let's talk about it. How to bait these guys to shoot you? Well, it's a lot to do about how you set up. And this map might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but generally speaking, there's an idea we're looking for. We trying to set up on more 180 angle if possible. Of course, there's no strict rule. Again, similar to Junker Queen, yeah, or like any other tank, there's no strict rule about that. But I think most of the time you tend to try why it's useful, because you're turning the attention of the enemy around. You're trying to just fight for the spot, and because they're fighting you, they turning the
They're not
attention
fighting my
towards you.
team.
Yeah, exactly. Because you do absorb quite a lot of pressure in the area. Your team can live, they can get picks. So here, let's say my team is attacking. So this is position A, where you possibly could be. Maybe, okay, maybe you can even be creative, because it's just the start of the game there. Any creative spots for you to hold, or maybe
Oh
stay at?
man. Um.
Let's think it
It's a very,
through.
very.
Yeah.
It's a
So
very unique.
your team is at A, right? Let's use different
Oh, so
color.
let's like before they move around. So I guess. I guess the bottom. I don't like being down there with a Doomfist. I don't like being at the bottom because of the Doomfist. You know, granted, I
Bottom
am
where?
Winston.
Bottom where?
Like where you could cliff.
Yeah,
Like
cliff. Right.
yeah, down here, right
Fine.
there.
Fine. You can stay at B, one of the options.
Um,
Now, what you don't like about being down there?
uh, there's a Doomfist that can
Sure.
knock me off. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, remember, if
it's
they're trying to knock you off, then they wasted CD. And do you have a CD to
yeah,
answer that? Right. So this is what
yeah,
it's
yeah.
about most of the time. You
Okay.
you make them waste CDs, and then you can go back to your original position. Hopefully, you can also force out something besides the Doomfist Sponge. So this can be one option. I can also give you
Okay.
this, and this can be even more creative there if you're really confident your team can fight for this point, which is actually at the hard tier. People try to fight for this a little bit earlier, so they have few fights there. They're trying to fight for the spot there, then the usually fighter goes down, and then there's a third fight which can be taking place in that place. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, let's be more accurate. So this is the first fight. Here's kind of the second fight, and the third fight is for the checkpoint usually. What you can be doing is potentially setting up in this here, literally inside the train, potentially, because you can fight for the spot and you still can jump away if you need to. You have enough range to do that. Something to think about. Yeah? So this is your first idea. Try to set up on 180 angle. So I'm gonna say it. Take 180 angle. And to give you an example of this, let me see. Maybe I got some Winston examples. Okay, Winston, it should be here. Yeah, there are a lot of Winston players, quite good Winston players. Let me see. So set up on 180 angle. Yeah, let me see. Maybe this one. There are a bunch of ranked GMs. Maybe something like, from Bogger. I can use this. Yeah,
Bulgar.
yeah. He's quite good. He's I think been
Yeah.
playing quite a lot of Winston those past
Yeah.
years. So see, our constant idea is to try to make sure we get in a place where it's more 180 sidelines. So see, his team is actually behind him. So I'm gonna maybe to just show you that. Go back a little. By the way, he's been pressuring from this 180 sideline constantly there. So this is just he's getting high gun. Team is behind him, and then he finds somebody isolated, but see, because he does the pressure, he turns the attention around, and then his team can fight. And this is something constant you want to be doing with your position. So I know that the fight is taking place. I take the position while he kind of transitions pretty fast to attacking. But anyway, first it's always set up on somewhat of a to do this 180 kind of play, and then go on the back line, and later you can jump away if you like. Yeah, because this is your cycling. Yeah, you always in out, in out, in out, kind of like that. Yeah, so this is one example. Maybe something like Gibraltar as well. Yeah, let me see. So just one moment. Yeah, maybe another map example. We typically well, this is the third point. Yeah, let's say Yeah, let's say here. Your team is around this way. This is the point. They coming from A. You can set up at B. Why not? You got all of the mobility to get away one more time, and all the attention goes to you. If the enemy team starts shooting you, you can always jump away. Quite nice spot. And it's just examples, but you always want to be searching for those kind of places. Make sure you set up on those places if possible. Okay, does it make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So this is what you want to do. A little bit more 180 angling, and this way you will probably, like, let's say I would start here even being creative inside this. Well, imagine how much attention goes to you, and Doof is not diving your team suddenly, and you don't have to be worried. Well, maybe he will, but it's all about who's better in the backline at this point.
Exactly. And there's very few Doomfists that are good. I've only played one Doomfist where I felt like, oh man, this guy's actually gonna just solo our whole team.
Yeah, so see, you kind of more of a not answering the dive. You need to be more proactive as your play. So don't let this guy to dive by diving the enemy backline, but set up in a more comfortable way. This is what it seems, yeah? This 180 angle, okay. So even from here, yeah, I can jump to this sideline maybe, and then create the pressure around this way, and then I can jump away. Ideally, if possible, yeah, don't waste a jump. Yeah, like you mentioned, you just zap, and then you can jump away later. But this is more of a frontline play. You see, it's face to face constantly. Make them turn around. So let's say I want to zap these guys. Okay, how you would go about that? Let's see. So this guy's in the main. What do you need to do to turn them around? Yeah.
Go back to the bottom right corner.
Yeah, well, maybe you can even be sneaky and sort of stay and then engage. So see, it's a kind of patience. Sometimes maybe you don't have an option if there's no option for you to set up in the position right away. You can also be sneaky, and like I mentioned, being slow. Yeah, slow with engagements. It's not about just you do nothing. No, you're preparing for the actual engagement when it matters. Imagine I drop down now, but I've been patient and I drop down this way and turn all the attention while these guys are shooting. And this is really nice. Because this is more of a position which you would take something like Jungkook and Orion, because you don't have mobility. You do have mobility with this character, so you need to turn attention around a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, so it's this more kind of more frontline play, so it becomes complicated, and this is better. So see you jumping kind of in the back, and then you're distracting these guys. They still go back though, but at least you did split. They tried to split some of the members. There's a Genji now. Well, might be killable. Yeah, but with this jump again, have to be careful. Again, it's face-to-face jump.
Yeah.
Really risky.
Yeah, I remember this jump. I was like, why did I click that? And then luckily my what's his name? Saved my life. I can't remember his name. Baptiste.
Yeah. That's all right. Yeah. So it's always cycling. Yeah. So even if I'm at this point, I'm trying to see, what is that spot I can get? First is setup, and second pressure. Yeah. So now again, instantly, I can go up there. Do something. Yeah, as an example. Okay. Let's keep watching what's gonna happen later. So we talked about this point. Well, of course, there's some other seems I notice what it could be doing, but just want to see if there's anything else, anything big we can fix. Okay, well, with the second point, you have more freedom, I think. You have more high ends. Yeah. So what's your thoughts here, by the way? When we're fighting all these guys, what's your 180 option setup? Maybe this
so
is
when
not
I was
too
sitting
bad.
here, yeah. So when I was sitting here, I remember my thought process is I saw the Junkrat and I was like, maybe I should go onto that bridge over there. And I sat, you could watch, and I could literally stare at him, think about it, and I think someone dies because of it. I just sit here and don't and I'm like, oh, they're not going to go top, so I was like, I can sit here and wait for them to come through. And and I was like, but I could go jump on that Junkrat, and then I end up doing it later on in a minute
Yeah.
here. But I sit there and think about it for a good minute or two. Yeah, you see, I'm still thinking, and then
So
finally
so
I do
so
it.
so you're saying you should be originally set it up here, or like
Um,
up on the right side, or
maybe top right, maybe I should be.
up right?
Yeah, right here on that bridge, maybe.
This what? Okay, if I'm in this position, and see, this is the
Or
second
maybe when
point.
I force that Genji out, I could go on the backs behind, go
Yeah,
around.
well, possibly, maybe. But see, this is the second point I'm gonna make. Try to always minimize the amount of poke you're taking. Try to avoid the poke. Your
Hmm.
open space is something you don't like as well. So whenever you're gonna be taking those 180 angles, you really don't want to be exposed to open space as much. So,
Hmm.
you, you try to find somewhat of a short range sightline. You wanna avoid open. So I'm writing it down. Maybe for you to also show this an example. See here. There's quite a short sightline, but it's not short. Just let's put it this way. It's short in a way that you can engage the enemy pretty soon. Yeah, they're within your zap range. Yeah, so see, if I'm at those positions, I know the enemies are coming from what? Maybe this side, this side. I can instantly get in a short range with them. Where at your position here, if I'm at the right side, it takes significant time to get closer. This is first. And second, you get noticed, which is quite bad. Let's put it this way. When you avoiding the poke, you also want to be sneaky, like a tracer, in a way. Think about
Okay.
yourself like a big tracer, really, most of the time.
Okay.
And this is where a lot of people, they kind of don't get it as well. They just always right-click for no reason. There's no reason to right-click as much. It's always, if they know where you are, I think mostly, or you're confident, well, you're just looking for the dive, you need kind of some burst damage from the range, and you're trying to do this some sort of combo.
Hmm.
Usually it's fine, but then in other cases you don't have to. The right click is not as great, so most of the
Should I
time.
just like,
hmm
so in this situation, where should I be? I
yeah
don't
so
know where I could not.
yeah so this is fine. Yeah, so see, you went to the left side. Yeah, you're fighting with the Genji who is isolated. Usually fighting isolated is okay, and then you can be sneaky and you don't have to do much, I think. So you can kind of just wait it out slightly and see if there's an opportunity, I think. So see, with this, you have to understand if it is somebody killable, really. And I think if I'm diving this Junkrat, well, might be a little bit too early, just because of
Yeah.
knowing where all your team is. So this is where you might get poked and necessarily get out, but then when the real fight starts, when your team is somewhere in the position, you first not set up, and second they already know where you are. Well, I think definitely spending your time thinking about it like a tracer is quite, can
Hmm.
be reasonable. Yeah. You're definitely
Yeah.
good at diving isolated targets, though. Just seeing, okay, if there's somebody isolated, like there was a Genji isolated, I think you can do it anytime. If not, you cannot dive anybody. Then at least time in the pressure with your team.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna write it down. Can be sneaky. Like a tracer. Yeah, this.
Okay. Okay.
And going back to our previous example, same idea here. You jump this way. Does they know they're there? Yeah, he's here. Well, not
Hmm.
as much. Of course, there are cases like this high ground here. If he's going up there, but even at this high ground, when you're not actively taking a fight, you can actually sneak around this pillar on the right side. There's a thing you can just sneak around, and you will not be poking at this point. Why are you gonna poke versus something like Akko, or maybe just any other character who's bad at poking and give up your
Hmm.
position for no reason.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, makes
Yeah, this is
sense.
what
Yeah.
most people don't get, and this is what a lot of people see. They just stuck in this damage mentality, and realistically, sometimes it's really bad
Yeah.
to do
And
that.
I knew. Yeah, I understand that Winston isn't a damage-based character. He's like a opportunist, and it's figuring that
Yeah,
out.
sharp engagements. Remember, it's always prepare for the sharp engagement, then go in fully. And this is where, once you in, this is where you will zap, this is where you right click, this is where you use your bubble and such. If somebody's low, you right click them if they are far away, you also right click for the combo. Yeah. But now this is what scares me. Yeah, you not the opposing threat on the backline. Doomfist is in, and we bubble. You see, like there's no reasonable pressure on us now because we're not creating too much threat, so it's complicates things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is really gonna be once you done this all the setup. Yeah, bubble, like shout. It just should be absorbing somewhat of a pressure. Okay. Let's keep watching. So see this. If there's dive happening, you just like that, yeah. Maybe you bubble. Yeah.
Okay.
Stay longer. Here we got the bubble pressure. Well, this guy's isolated. Maybe diving in Mercy would be better. I think
I'm about to do it right there.
Yeah, I'm thinking, and again, it's without the cooldown usually. See, what if I zap normally, usually, and then you can dive in later because she uses CD. Yeah, I'm doing something primary fire. She uses CD GA, and I can use CD later to finish her. They also use CDs actually, so this is fair. You jump on them because the Genji used dash and he's no deflag, but yeah, so it's okay. I don't think we have to nitpick on that as much.
Well, no,
It's alright.
yeah, so.
It's just from this perspective of 180 angle, can I create a thread there first? Yeah, this is why I was...
yeah.
Yeah, isolate the target, sure, and then you can get out.
Unless he disappeared. I've been having an issue lately of, like, I don't know if it's my eyes or something like that. As of late, I've been losing targets when they're up close. It's been an issue of mine lately. I don't know if it's like I'm blinking and they're gone, but I'm having that issue recently.
Well, I think most of it is about to do the awareness, just keeping an eye, keeping a track on what they play, where they might be, so we'll look into place where it should, because a lot of people think, oh, it's about reaction, you just have to notice, you have to be really fast, your eyes have to be really fast and move left and right and see all the things together. No, in reality, you just need to anticipate a lot of times. If I know they have a tracer, if I'm fighting the tracer and she suddenly disappeared, where do I expect her to be? Well, she's most likely gonna move towards somewhat of a flank, so I'll put my attention in there instantly, and I will scout them. And then the same thing about the Mercy. Well, what most of the Mercies will do? Well, maybe they will try to go up and super jump. Maybe they will try to. Yeah. So that was this moment. Yeah. If we go back, what happened there? We've been fighting. So it's let's say like right there. You're fighting this, okay? You see this Mercy? You know what she did? She just used GA. And she actually, that's it. So this is what it's about, right? It's just knowing the Mercies, knowing the abilities, what they do, but also just anticipating, oh, they get a GA, right? So I gotta understand. They probably super jump and fly away.
And then if I got there, I could have killed her if I knew where she went. Yeah.
True, exactly. More about anticipating. You don't have to be fast with reacting. It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why it's more important to say, like, I track something, and always I do it with quite a lot of players here. We just track certain threats, maybe 2 threats, and just constantly trying to understand where those are, predict where those are, and because of it, you can position so they will not kill you, and you're also able to provide reasonable amount of pressure. Okay, what are we thinking? Our setup options. Where do we set up at this point?
I guess by the Pharah?
Yeah, I would say potentially one of the best angles for you to be at. There's nothing else. And later you can leverage it as a... maybe go there. If Doomfist dives in, you can also maybe deny this space if somebody's isolated. But yeah, Junkrat might be tricky. Just make sure you set up there, because you don't want to waste the bubble on this where Doomfist disengages, and this is not a fair trade anymore. You,
Yeah, it makes sense.
your
Yeah.
bubble is really expensive. This is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. You have to make this guy pay for it, the same as the shout. Position yourself more proactively in a way. Now this guy is out, your bubble stays there, and it's just empty, lonely on the high ground.
It's a really good. It's a really cool asset. That's what that is.
Yeah, it's nice to have. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it makes sense. I
This-
guess I never really. It's one of the things I just don't pay attention to with Winston very much. I need to pay attention to what I'm doing with the bubble.
Hmm.
It's like that doesn't really go through my mind. I kind of just like it kind of just exists for me, and I need to really pay attention to what I'm doing with it.
Oh, it's gonna be good. You will be creating those more proactive engagements. Something's gonna do pressure to you, and then you use bubble, same as the shout. You have literally treated the same way. Yeah, here. Is there a reasonable amount of pressure in you as well if you use the bubble, right? Right? So
Like,
if
why?
you shout here, yeah? If you shout there, well, maybe it's for the getting killed, but do you really need it at this point as well?
No, I don't. No.
You still can
I mean,
kill
I could have
this.
gotten yeah, that bubble was useless.
Yeah.
And even
What if you go deeper, right? So it's set up for the next engagement. It's always the cycles. First setup, then pressure. Set up, pressure here. Go on the first, go on the high ground, and then fight. They start pressuring you, and you bubble, and you get the staggers. Now you're gonna be more scared to fight this guys and dive the backline because you don't have bubble. I still do it though, but you know what I'm saying. You cannot be as aggressive because bubble is off.
You definitely don't ignore that jump that I failed, but ended up all right. Totally anticipated that. I totally just whiffed and got lucky. But yeah.
Right. Okay. Remove the strap. Again, set up on the left side. Yeah. Well, also another option, if they go to the left, you can always drop. Don't forget it. So you avoid the poke. This was our another point. Yeah. Short sideline. Potentially being sneaky. Short sideline to avoid the poke. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a moment where I get a hair in my mouth and I stop moving for a second, so ignore that.
That's okay. It's okay. And this Zan looks good to fight. Yeah, this guy's low. You can destroy him. Yeah. Careful.
Oh yeah.
See, this is where I wanna make sure you avoid this poke. You see, careful. The Nyara's right click with Discord can destroy you as Winston. Really,
Yeah.
Setup being sneaky is fine. By the way, treat it like because you let them in because they think, oh, there's no Winston or something. Yeah, maybe they just they don't know where you are. But then because you let them pass and then you fight. Just go in and fight with your primal, you can completely destroy somebody there. And once it happens, well, it's mostly when somebody commits into your space. This is when you can be doing that.
Yeah.
So see here, you kind of trying to prevent them from walking by fighting the Doomfist, but really set up to fight the backline. Yeah, like literally maybe start here, avoid the poke, fully fight with your resources, and this is a good jump, by the way. You completely deny him being able to go back towards this position. What's the trance?
I knew that was coming for me.
Uncomfortable primal because you push them. So see, it's always with the Winston. It's also trying to push the enemies towards your sidelines, not out. Yeah. So see, with this primal, yeah. It was just all of our points of the setup. Yeah, even with the primal, you can think about small setups such as, well, the tower is there, sure, but let me jump maybe somewhere behind this. So I set up 180, and then I boop them in. And then you boop them in your sidelines. And then maybe even Doomfist I boop them in, or maybe this Nyara as well. But not out, there's no point. And like, this is better though, when you kind of start booping him in, but yeah, it's just...
No. I kind of left my cat, my Kiriko there, and I was like, why'd you jump at me? I can come to you.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, it happens. Isolated, he can fight. Yeah. Well, sure.
Got lucky there. Oh,
That's fine. The from just yeah, it was understandable. You taking the high ground again because the cycle is over. You did engage. You can set up again. It's always set up first, pressure. Set up, pressure.
yeah.
Yeah. Here.
This is the first time I played Winston on this map, so I was kind of playing around with where I should be here. I was kind
Yeah.
of trying to figure that out
I
here.
I will give you this. This is one of the creative options. Just stay on this one.
Okay.
So, I like this one most of the time. Well, it just covers this lane. It covers this,
Mhm.
and you have to be patient though. No right clicking and telling them, guys, I'm here. You just no waving, no saying hi. No, just stay.
Yeah.
Be sneaky.
I might play Winston with no right clicking from now on out. Just
Well, I wouldn't destroy and like remove it completely, but it's just
of course.
understand it. Like, okay, obviously, if they know that you're here, they already saw you. You can right click them, but do not
Mhm.
right click to that point so they poke you more than compared to them poking you. Yeah, if I right click and there's an ash, and this is really uncomfortable. You can right click the junker though, but you see most
Mhm.
of these guys they can just out poke you. There's no reason. You
Oh
just get
yeah.
really bad cooldown trade this way. So I would just do something like sit with them right click, maybe even there, and then
Mhm.
fight them later. Yeah, it's
Okay. Okay.
right. It's definitely what most of the players do. They spend a
Yeah.
lot of times
Makes.
right clicking. And we'll see with somebody like, yeah, again, that example, just the point about the right click in it. If this guy's sitting here, he only gonna right click when there's somebody far or he's trying to do the combo. And see, he didn't even right click there. He was just waiting. Tracer, same thing.
Mhm.
You just wait and sit, 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 fight. Sharp engagements, read in. There's a high noon, so he has to jump out there. But that is the same. He's still trying to maintain this sideline. And see, they actually know that he's here, so he can start right clicking, but it's only if they know. Now he's still waiting for this more opportunity to do something. You see the combo, yeah, right click and then jump, zap, 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 and this is fine in this case. But never zero regional setup where they don't know where you are potentially. Yeah, you don't, and
Yeah, it makes sense.
and here it's also in a way there's nobody can kind of poke him, so there's Mercy while she cannot poke you as much, so it's fine. Okay.
Makes sense.
So
That's where being on that where you're said to be at would be helpful.
yeah,
I whiff
I
this
really
so hard
like
and
it.
cry.
Also, there's another option. Maybe if you want to fight hard, the spawn is here. You can also set up here, be creative. Your getaway option, though, well, you will have to commit in here and then jump away. Maybe there's another getaway such as this one, but this always feels a little bit more awkward because you have to use this sideline where your team cannot see you most of the time.
Yeah.
That's why, yeah, it's just one of these options. Also sitting
This is
here.
where I learned that you can't out DPS a Mercy. And I learned hard. I was like, "How is this not dead?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna lose to this." Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I was a little annoyed. It happened. I learned something.
Yeah. Let's see here. And this is not too bad. Well, let's break it down. Your setup. What are you looking for here? What
I
are
was
your
looking for
options?
an off angle.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
in my head, but I could jump top right, or I could go top right and go far top, like the far, like to their
Good
left.
option. Good option. Yeah, I like it.
And then I guess where I'm going currently is an
Yeah,
okay option.
this is okay option too. And to be honest, you also turning them around. It's just your bubble usage though. Is it needed?
It needs work.
Imagine again, you shout there, you shout right here. Yeah, it's just there's no pressure on you yet, and just wait for those guys to turn at you. You let them just be to cut your bubble completely. Let's put it this way. You still get this Nyara, which is good. Yeah, I like this small ledge. Actually, has it been there? I'm not sure. This ledge, it was When was that?
I never noticed it, and that's why I jumped up there. I was like, oh, I didn't know that was there. And I was like, I don't know
Yeah.
how I'm gonna use this, and then
I
jumped down from it.
forgot. Yeah, I think it's been originally it's been not there. I definitely always use this one, and this one has been here too. But this one, yeah, because this one is also interesting. You can set up this high ground option. It's just one of the suggestions. Here is usually slightly better though because you have more. Well,
Flexibility.
yeah, flexibility maybe this way. You also get HP back, something you can drop to. But...
Mhm.
You see, this is what you paid. This is what you're paying always. You done the right click and there's dynamite in your face now, and
Yeah.
so-
Yeah, like I feel like it's like I can definitely tell the reasons why I'm not supposed to be doing it, and it's like it literally can smack me in the face, and you're not fucking learning.
And there could be. Imagine there's a right click from Dinyara as well, and over this pressure from the
Yeah,
the dash shot potentially. This is
yeah,
really
and
scary.
it's like, but my idea is like I don't know what's happening, so I kind of almost makes it's like since I'm gonna look anyways, that's why I do it, even though I shouldn't have to need to look.
Yeah, with Winston, it's a lot about sound cues too. Whenever you're being sneaky, so it's gonna be similar to Trace. I'm setting up in the best position possible, and then those guys are kind of being active, and I hear it, and I can be active as well. You can also put attention towards your teammates too, the indicators of their health. Yeah, are they getting pressured? I'm seeing something like in a real game. Remember, there's always a bar. There's a not a bar, but this
Yeah.
marker. It's yellow when they start taking damage, such as this one.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Just don't forget. It's not showing in replay, but in real game there is.
Yeah.
So this is better. You get on the back line, you fight, and you're being patient with your bubble. Bubble now. Well, it's almost perfect. So see, you want to. The best time for you is to do it now because you want to keep as much armor as possible. This is the main goal. Yeah, to kind of maybe put it
Okay.
in notes. So bubble, yeah, bubble usage. So it's using it like shout, sure. But so it's when there's big pressure. Okay, when enemy do big burst, use cooldowns. Just keep your armor. Yeah, when you lost. So it's mostly around half of your armor. I think this is usually a good point to start thinking about using your bubble because your bubble is gonna protect you for some time. Your supports will heal you up, and this way you almost fighting with your effective HP, and you have 30% damage reduction this way. So it's just kind of like that. Yeah, it's not against strict number, but just when you lost half of your armor, might be
Yeah. Okay.
good thing.
That makes sense.
It's always gonna be. So see those two steps with you then, yeah. First you're gonna be setting up, second you're gonna be engaging, and there's a lot to do with your bubble to just keep you alive. In my opinion. Yeah, I'm fighting the sash. Yeah. And then we this is okay, well, a little bit chaotic. Maybe fight Zenyatta first with the Mercy instead of Junkrat. Because they can get healed, but you should be alright. You got faster spawn there. Yeah, nice. Okay, do you have any questions maybe?
No, definitely gonna. I think the next time one of the big things, like I think two things big for Winston to like focus on. Bubble usage. Holy crap, bubble usage is gonna be huge. And I think I'm gonna focus on bubble usage and the right position to be. Like where and not to like and like right position to be slash like not like giving away my position immediately. I think are the two things I'm gonna work on. Or the
Yep.
three big things, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sure,
But it
sure,
all
sure.
makes sense, especially walking through this thing. It's like I felt like I did okay. No, I didn't. Yeah. We may have won, but it wasn't like there was a bunch of issues there, which I knew kind of, but it's like, oh, I didn't realize it was that bad, and I didn't realize how bad my bubble usage was, you know. So until you pointed out.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, we Definitely something you can improve, especially if you keep an eye on. Like it's been with the Junker Queen, yeah. Your shout, we just been using it too early. There's the same problem. You can fix it. Yeah,
Hmm.
can be quite good. Okay. So with your setup, yeah, if we kind of maybe summarize this, what are again the positions you're looking for? What we just mentioned so far?
180 angles,
Mm-hmm.
that and positions that don't involve you taking a bunch of poke.
Okay. How do you don't take poke? What do you need to do?
Don't peek.
Don't pick as much. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
don't
one.
peek.
Another thing is also have this more of a short range sight line. You wanna avoid open space. Okay.
Hmm.
And you can be sneaky. Don't forget it. You can be sneaky like a tracer.
Be snake. Be
Yeah,
sneaky
yeah,
snake. Yeah.
yeah. It's okay to just not poke. Use your right click if they don't know where you are. You don't have to. So I'm just gonna say
Mhm.
this. Yeah, important note. Don't have to mouse 2. Yeah, mouse 2 if they don't know where you're. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this one is good. Bubble usage, yeah, just two main points. There's a big pressure on you, use your bubble, same as Junker Queen, and you need to wait for your armor. Just once how your armor is out, usually use your bubble. It seems, yeah, those
Okay.
main things. Okay, let's see. For yeah, then for the next time, what are we looking for?